Oh, we're actually live. Here you go. I didn't even realise what was going on. Welcome to Shoot the Defence on FNX, brought to you by My Sportswear, Youth Energy and Save Association. I'm your host, Stel. And if this show goes the way I think it will, we'll probably get a cease and desist letter from Arsenal Football Club. One thing I promise won't cease are our vertically challenged jabs at Yannickis. How you doing?
Not bad, Jay.
Yeah, I'm good. You got 2 pillows now, so you.
I'm taller than you now.
Yeah, you've set the standard now.
Thank you.
Every week you must grow another inch.
Oh, good.
Height. Right. My next co-host, as ever, is a Mr. Rodri Giggs. How you doing, Rod?
Yeah, I'm good, fellas. Good. You okay, fellas? Yeah.
Not bad,
Yeah, we're great. How's your Vinto?
Good. How's that? Is that pillow puffed up properly?
It's propped up. It is. Don't worry. We've got him. Next time I'm going to use one of those jacks that I use to lift up cards.
No, I don't think it's sinking as we go on.
Like he's one of the twits, right? There you go. Right, so sorry, man. I'm sorry. It's got to be done. If the shame if we're not cussing you, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
Cheers.
Anyway, right. Our guest this evening is somewhat of a social media sensation. He's an avid Arsenal fan whose Twitter videos have been endorsed by the likes of Leon Knight, good old Leon, and the legendary Steve-O the Madman. It's David Frimpon. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good. How you guys doing?
Yeah, great to have you on the show, mate.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm here to talk about Arsenal and other good teams that are not Arsenal. So,
sorry about that, mate. Sorry. I think next time we'll invite you on when Arsenal win, but I don't know when that will be, unfortunately. So,
who got next? I don't even know who got next. That's how bad it is.
Chelsea.
You're joking.
Arsenal-Chelsea next game.
Shut up.
Okay. All right, I will.
That's Chelsea.
Arsenal-Chelsea, yeah.
Good night, lads.
Nice knowing you. Well, look, there's only one place to begin our review, and that's at Anfield, where Liverpool blitz Arsenal to move up to second place in the table. Goals from Firmino, Mane, Salah, and Daniel Sturridge. Remember him? He handed Klopp's men a 4-0 win and heaped more pressure on Arsene Wenger. Mate, a lot has been said about Arsenal's performance, which we'll discuss in a moment. Yeah. But this was a very powerful and dominant Liverpool performance. I mean, we already knew how much damage Mane, Salah, etc. they can cause on the counter, but this wasn't about pace, was it? Liverpool were absolutely dominant from start to finish.
It was an excellent Liverpool performance from start to finish. They were hungrier, they were quicker, they won every 50-50, they created chances. Can't believe I'm talking about Liverpool, but yeah, it's very true. As good as Liverpool were, Arsenal diabolical, but like you said, we'll touch on that shortly. But now dominant, and again, Liverpool proved again against the big sides, they turn up, they perform, and they've still got this brilliant record against the big boys. Where, you know, if they accumulated more points against the lesser clubs, so to speak, they'll be there or thereabouts fighting for the title.
I think you were saying at the beginning of the show, even before the show went live, it was practically the same kind of performance Arsenal put in against them this season than they did last.
Yeah.
It's almost as if they're scared to go to Anfield now. They've lost 5-1 there, they lost 4-0 there.
You're scared. I'm shook to go to Anfield. I never want to go Anfield ever again. What is it? Been like 4. They've smashed us. See, it's just a blur. It just looks like numbers to me. All I remember is there was a 4-1. I think there was like a 7-1 or some shit like that. It's just numbers. I'm scared to go down. I'm scared to go anywhere away. Man City, Man United, Tottenham. We're gonna get brushed. Like, that's what the team looks like now. And
even at Wembley, you got a better record at Wembley than Spurs do, and that's their home ground this season.
Yeah, exactly. But then you kind of want to kind of transform that form into away games against the Big Six. Like, I saw some crazy record about our performances against the Big Six. I think we won like 2 out of 21 or something like that. I can't remember. That's in the last, I think, since 2011. That is That's terrible. That is bad. And this guy, this Mr. Wenger guy, just sugarcoats everything like everything's fine. And it's like, mate, we're in fucking crisis here, mate. Like, we're actually shit. We're actually crap now. Like, we're rubbish. Like, I can't see where we go from here unless he leaves. And I love the man. I fucking love Wenger. Like, he's literally my second dad. And he just needs to go. I think he's getting senile or something, or delusion. I don't know what it is. I just don't know what it is. I don't know.
Unfortunately, this isn't the Mari show, so I can't do a DNA test.
Yeah, like, be down there, like, like, I really don't know where we go from here.
I think the players will stop playing for him. That's my opinion. I think they've lost it completely. There's no.
I feel like they lost it because remember there was a game where it was his 1,000 game as an Arsenal manager, and we went to Chelsea and they beat us 6-0. Now, if that's your manager, it's his 1,000 game. Wouldn't you want to play for him there? Wouldn't that be the biggest time that you'd be like, you know what, lads, let's throw out everything out there and get a result for the match? This is 1,000 game in the league. Let's at least show up. And he didn't show up again, and we got smashed 6-0. So if they weren't going to play for him then, they're surely not going to play for him now.
Yeah, it's a fair point. It's a fair point. Well, let's quickly go back to Liverpool.
Yeah.
Rodri, pace kills, as you so often say. Are Liverpool's front three the most exciting combination in the league?
Yeah. They're probably up there. They're the most dynamic and most exciting to watch at the minute. I don't fancy Mane and Firmino. Who was the other one? Firmino, Mane, and Salah. Yeah, they're all quick individuals. So, yeah, along with United and possibly City at the minute. Yeah, the front three. Once they've got you on the back foot, these type of players, the Marshalls, the Salahs, the Manes. Once they've got defenders going on the back foot, especially going to the box, it becomes a problem for them. I know they can show them down the left, they show them down the right, but ultimately, when you're going at that kind of speed, it's difficult to shepherd someone down the side you want them to go down. So, yeah, they're definitely exciting to watch, but it's keeping them out of the other side that's going to worry me with Liverpool in the long run. Yeah, and obviously injuries and squad numbers. They haven't got a big enough squad, and defensive, I don't think they're there yet.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Well, Liverpool's dominance over Arsenal and their clinical finishing makes our choice of bite-back question fairly easy. We asked our listeners and our viewers and our Twitter followers, everyone on our Facebook group page, little plugs there and there, are Liverpool serious title contenders? Now, the first response we got was actually from Matt Topolsky in America, who's a massive Liverpool fan, does a few bits for Liverpool in the background when they go to the United States for tours and whatnot. And he says if they sign the centre-back to sort out their defence, then they have a chance, which is precisely what Rodri said about their defence being a bit weak at the moment. Marco, a great guy who's on Two Brothers, One Couch, not one bit, no. He's a United fan. We wouldn't expect the same thing. Mr. Pieri, I think he's back from his holiday in Greece now, isn't he? He says, will compete purely because of their firepower. However, sustaining a challenge will require Klopp to have a plan B. Has he got one?
Good point.
Exactly. Dan DeLuca from Sofa Sports News says, nope, you have to be able to defend. There you go. Yeah, and Pete Down Under in Australia says, sign Virgil van Dijk and keep adequately replaced Coutinho, then why not?
Also a goalkeeper.
Yeah.
I wanted to add.
Yeah, what do you reckon?
Next goalkeeper, centre half, and possibly another striker.
Okay. Possibly. Why do you say possibly? Why not definitely?
Sturridge is not someone that you're going to have fit the whole season. If Firmino gets injured, will Origi score the
so
goals?
definitely a new striker then. Not possibly.
Definitely a new striker.
Okay,
then.
thank you.
I'll go along with that.
Thank you. Dave?
You think Firmino's a good striker?
I think he's a good player. I don't think he's, in my opinion, I don't think he'll score 20, 25 league goals in a season. I don't think he's that type of player or a striker. I just think they need someone lethal up there and maybe Firmino and players like that to play off him. And also, a good point might be if they keep Coutinho and add, they've got a good chance this season.
Yeah, but Coutinho's gone. He ain't going to stay at Liverpool. I think it's too late now. Like, he's done too much to not stay. Like, I can just see him going. And I heard it's like 170 mil?
Yeah, it's well over 100.
I actually think Coutinho's overrated.
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, what's he... Like, I was looking at his stats. I think he got like 13 goals. I'm not sure how many assists. But for 160 million, I'll give Barcelona that, and then go get Van Dijk, the centre back that they need. Maybe get a new goalkeeper, and then, like you said, get maybe a decent striker. So I would sell Coutinho, and then maybe they could have a challenge. But Liverpool are weird. They either start strong, finish weak, or start weak and then finish strong. They're a bit like Arsenal as well. So I don't know. I really don't know. But they do have a good chance. I really do think so.
Rodri?
Yeah, I just can't see them being contenders the way they play with the number of squad they've got as well. Just the high intensity. You know, in Germany when he played that, they get a break at Christmas and they can rest. It's difficult to do that in the Premier League all season long, especially like I say, with the defence is not as strong as it should be. So, you know, they'll be top four, but like I say, I can't see them further than City and United top two.
Fair enough.
What do you think?
I think it's difficult to say right now because as you guys said, depth isn't there in the squad. If they get an injury to Matip, who's going to come in as centre back?
You know, even if they get an injury to Firmino as well, they can't rely on Sturridge. He's made a Swiss cheese, so they obviously needed someone else to come in.
Yeah, that's right. And the thing is that they're lucky in the sense. I mean, I say lucky, but there's no African nations this season, so Salah ain't gonna go, Mane ain't gonna go. But then you're looking at people like Emre Can, who's hot and cold. You know, I think he's a good player, as Emre Can.
Started the season well this season.
Exactly, but again, he's inconsistent, and I think he's got this tetchy side to him where, you know, you don't know whether he's going to pick up a booking here and there, and I don't know. And again, like I said on the first show of the season, because they play in such a way and he trains them in such a way, it's so intense.
Can they keep it up for the whole season?
It's not just that. Look at the injuries that they get over Christmas. It's always hamstrings, it's always thighs, it's always muscular injuries. Now, if come January they're going to get 2 or 3 more injuries, that hamstrings that are keeping players out for 5, 6, 7 weeks, then what? How can you maintain any form of consistency? For their sake, they need to bring in players. They need to. I mean, Twitter reckons that there's going to be 3 more signings before the end of the window. Fine. But you've got Champions League as well. They've got Champions League as well. So last season, they didn't have European football.
And what happened to him? Yeah, it's true.
So,
Good point.
It's like
I mean, to get they'll have to sell Coutinho. Yes, like I feel like he's worth enough to get rid of for them to replace the team with 3 players. I mean, you can get 3 decent players for 160 million.
No, you're right. You're right. Oh, you said he was overrated earlier. How many chances do you think he created the whole of last season in the Premier League?
That is a question I do not know. But from face value, I mean, I feel like with the pace of Salah and what's the other guy's name? Mane. Like Mane will get you the goals. He'll get you the assists. Salah will add that burden that Coutinho was had when he was playing for Liverpool. Got Firmino who's going to chip in with a few goals. I feel like they're up front. I feel like they're well stocked. Maybe you need a striker, like you said, in case Firmino gets injured, or Sturridge, because Sturridge is going to get injured. It's going to happen.
What about Origi though?
I don't know. I don't trust him.
No,
I don't think Klopp trusts him either. But then he might do. Maybe that's why he hasn't gone out and got a striker.
Yeah, it's a fair point. The thing is, there's so much to consider in this transfer window, in the sense that they've been chasing Van Dijk for the whole of this summer, and if they don't get him, I'm not saying it's a disaster, because I think they'll probably get him in January if they don't get him now.
Have they got a plan B?
See, that's the thing. And will they want to utilise that plan B in terms of the alternative signing? Because if they sign this plan B player, then is Van Dijk going to come in January? I think what they're going to do is wait until January and then bring him in then. But will it be too little too late? This is what I'm saying. The thing is with Liverpool, and as I said, to their credit, they've got Mane and Salah, who I think will be absolutely fantastic this season. Mane was one of my players of the season last year. I think it was fantastic. You know, fantastic signing. We should have got him when we had the chance under Van Gaal. But, you know, whatever happens, you know. But I just think that if they don't get that back four sorted, and if Klopp doesn't go so intense, they're going to have problems. Oh, whatever. Anyway, let's move on. Well, look, while Liverpool are considered title challengers, the same can't be said about Arsenal Football Club. Sunday's crushing defeat at Anfield led to more mutiny off the field, with millions of fans taking to social media venting their disgust at the state of the club. And while the finger of blame is continually aimed at Wenger, Gazidis and Stan Kroenke by the fans, Sunday's performance was the straw that broke the proverbial camel's back, with several players being taken to task. Oxlade-Chamberlain allegedly threw his shirt to the ground at full time and is now heading to Chelsea, while Alexis Sanchez's wry smile on the bench after goal number 3 fueled more transfer rumours. Now, Dave, tell us about Sunday's game, mate. Was that the worst performance you've seen from an Arsenal side?
Well, to be fair, I feel like we've had, just in terms of our Premier League performance for the last 13 years, it's probably, as a collective, it's just all together. It's just all the same stuff. Do I think it's the worst? I mean, we got beat 8-2 by United. I thought that was pretty bad, but we weren't ready then. This time, I feel like we weren't ready as well. It's weird with Wenger because I feel like you're playing left backs at centre back. You're playing your right back at left wing back. You've got your new left back on the bench. You've got your new £50 striker on the bench. You've gone to Anfield with Danny Welbeck leading your line. Does he think, if he thinks that team can win the league, then someone needs to check him into a hospital because something's wrong with him. Something like he might be dying, and he's just like, fuck it, I'll do what I want. I'll put Chamberlain at centre back. Like, if I feel like after the Chelsea game when we beat them 3-0 and they changed their formation, and then we did the same thing. We're like, it's working for Chelsea, so let's copy their formation. But it's like your squad's not like Chelsea's, and you're the one that assembled it. I was done with Arsene Wenger when he thought that his team was good enough, and he only signed Petr Cech.
The thing is, Dave, you said about switching the system to replicate Chelsea's, and the guys don't have the players like Chelsea's. Yeah, that's correct. But you also don't have the same manager as Chelsea's. Don't forget, this is the guy that is happy to text his best player to say, "I don't want you to play anymore." That's how ruthless Conte is. He will work players, he will work players and work them.
I feel like he plucks his tactics from thin air. Like he just decides, today I feel like this, so I'm going to do that. Like last season, he got so routine that 75th minute, he's going to make a sub. It's like everyone knows what you're going to do before you do. Like, change it up. Like, come on. Like, you've been doing the same thing for 13 years and it hasn't changed. Like, it's not going to change with him in charge. And I don't just blame him. I blame the people above him because they're too scared to fire him. Just sack him. If he's not doing his job, just sack him. If Chelsea go one season without winning anything, their manager gets sacked. Why is it not like that? I'm tired of this. Oh, we do it the proper way and we're nice and da-da-da. I want to win league titles. I don't care that, like, I do care. Like, you've brought us success. You've made us who are. Thank you very much. Thank you. But you yourself have to come to the conclusion that, you know what, my time's done. You can't take us any further. I don't think he can. I really don't think he can.
But the thing is, he's not gonna get sacked and he's not gonna walk. And this is the thing. When you look at Stan Kroenke, who's sitting in his ranch somewhere in the middle of wherever he is in America, and he sees Arsenal Football Club, who, let's be 100% honest, they're making the most money on match days. Fact. The most money. They're making more money than United, than Real Madrid, Barcelona on match days. I think last season was like £100 million. So why would he want to sell Arsenal Football Club? They're making the money from the TV money. They're making the money from the Champions League. They're making money from everywhere. So from a business perspective, he's sitting there thinking, well, nothing's going wrong. The business model isn't going wrong. So why would I want to sell? The difference is we're talking about a sports club here. It is a business, but fundamentally it's
like it's JD Sports. Like it's a football club. But the thing is, I don't think he gets it. And I think he's done the same with one of his franchises in America.
Moving him for a different state, isn't he?
He doesn't care. Like it doesn't mean anything to him. So as long as he's there, and he doesn't really care what's happening here, as long as the money's rolling in, I don't really care if we finish fifth, because if we finish fifth, sixth, it doesn't matter. The Premier League are still going to pay us 100 mil every season. It doesn't matter where you finish. So it's just not going to change unless we change the board. and that's not going to change. So I think we just got to stick it, like Arsenal fans, we just got to stick it out and see what happens. But it's not going to get any better. It's not going to get any better with these people in charge.
The thing about this is that when Arsenal won the FA Cup, there was like a big sense of relief. You could see it on the players, you could see it with the fans. And the relief wasn't just the fact that they've won a trophy to silence people. It's the fact that people thought, that's it, he's gonna retire.
Yeah.
He's gonna fall on his sword now.
Yeah.
That's it. He's won the FA Cup. He can leave on a high, but that's it. And then within days, he signed a 2-year contract. And I can see why Arsenal fans are so deflated about this. I mean, looking at the system on Sunday, right? If this was a Ferguson, if this was even George Graham, even they'd have gone to Anfield and played the 4-5-1 and be happy to leave with a point.
Mourinho.
They wouldn't have been humiliated. The players probably would have put in a shift. But the fact that he's put in this ridiculous system, playing players out of position, players that don't want to play, it astounds me, honestly. Rod, tell me, what's your take on Sunday's game and the whole situation? I know you told us about Arsenal being yellow and brittle, but come on, Sunday just took it to a whole another level, didn't it?
It was embarrassing. Yeah, it was embarrassing. It's getting to the point now where what do the fans do? Because they're moaning, they're saying the same thing. It's the same old stories, the same old thing. What can they do? What can they do? Do they stop and go away? Do they go to the training ground and let the players know that they're not giving 100%? We need more from you. Not in a violent way, in a demonstration and saying, we need more from you. I don't know, but some of them, Ramsey, Ozil, Chamberlain, who else is there? Sanchez now, even though he's not be there. So, but it does come moaning about training now. So it does come from the top. He is a bit stubborn. He should have gone last year. Let's face it. He's just going to ruin his legacy. So, but it's down to the players who go out there, effort in them, need to work a lot hard. It's embarrassing to let them know.
Yeah. Well, David, with Wenger seemingly running the club at the moment, mate, what would you say is a realistic solution to get Arsenal challenging?
Sack him, sack Conte, sack Ivan, sack that chip guy. I don't know his first name. Sack Dick Law. It just all needs to change. This says it all. Apparently we offered Oxlade-Chamberlain 180k a week. That's more than Sanchez and Ozil. Apparently our two best players. And he turned it down. He said, "Why am I staying here for? This is rubbish. I'm tired of this nothingness. No ambition. We're just stuck in the same place." And Oxlade-Chamberlain's not even that good. Like, he's not even that good. And he turned down Arsenal 180k a week, highest paid player at the club. And he said no. That just says it all. And it's just, like Ronnie said, as fans, I don't know what we can do. We can protest. We protested a few years ago. Nothing happened. Just signed a new contract. Like, whatever you do, it just seems to fall on deaf ears. I know Ivan he was talking about catalyst of change, but then he's gone missing again. Where is he? Say something. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I'm just riding it out. I'm enjoying being this season once again of just doing nothing.
The thing is, with the greatest respect, with Arsenal fans, they're not good winners and they're not good losers. But I can sympathise with them.
You say that, but I will take a loss if you fought with a loss. So should I be happy that my team went to Liverpool and lost 4-0?
No. But what I'm about to say is that I can actually sympathise with you guys, because when you moved from Highbury to the Emirates, it was to compete with the likes of Bayern Munich. You were sold a dream, and nothing's been delivered. You're hearing stories about there's going to be big signings. Well, I actually thought you guys were going to spend at least 200 million this summer, because when you look at your squad last season, you actually weren't that far off from challenging. Maybe it's about 2 or 3 players off from challenging, but it just seemed that now everyone's just been so deflated that the life is being sucked out of the club. Rodri said something earlier, which kind of like rang a bit of a bell, protesting and turning up to the training ground. Imagine if this happened in Greece or Turkey or in Italy, where the board were making these decisions and the manager was just like, what am I going to do?
Death threats.
Death threats.
They'll kill him.
Right.
They'll bomb their
Now, we're not saying we do Arsenal fans should do that, but it's a cultural thing, isn't it? You know, here, we're happy to complain on social media and write letters to the BBC and, you know, go and point of view and get Anne Robinson into a job. But, you know, go to the training ground and voice your opinions. I'm sure half of these footballers go to bars and clubs full of Arsenal fans, and instead of having a selfie with them, give them what for.
Yeah.
Tell them, what's your problem? You're getting paid 200 grand a week or whatever you're getting paid, and you're putting in performances like this. It's a disgrace how they performed on Sunday. I'm sorry.
I agree.
The fans that went up there, I mean, I know people that went up there. I know people that went to the 8-2. Yeah. And the people that went to the 8-2 were saying there was more heart in that game.
They played better at Old Trafford than the 8-2. I agree.
You know, Van Persie missed the penalty at 1-0.
Yeah.
Game could have been different.
Yeah.
But
we can't even protest properly, because say if we go to we do a stadium protest where no one shows up, other people buy the tickets. There's so much demand for Arsenal tickets that the stadium's going to be full. And then if you're a season ticket, you've already bought your ticket.
Exactly, it's already paid for. It's already paid for.
We'll just show the side where it has fans. Like, it's just difficult to get your point across in these times, and it's just, I don't know where it's going to change. It's going to change with the man. The guy's going to die coaching and managing a match. That's how he's going to go out. I feel like he's just going to go to the end. He's going to be in a wheelchair. People are going to be winning him. He's just going to be sitting in the corner all old and shit. And that's how it's going to end.
Do you know what? I don't know. To be 100% honest with you, when he signed that 2-year deal, I said, I don't think he's going to do the full 2 years. I think now the way that things are at the moment, I know we're probably going to look back on this come May and think, you know, there's much ado about nothing kind of thing. But I think now it's come to the point where he's feeling it. He's actually feeling it. Even in his post-match interviews, he isn't, you know, he isn't as defensive as what he used to be.
There's no fire in his belly, is there?
No, it's just like before.
It looks deflated.
Yeah, I know. I think it's killing him inside. I mean,
whose fault's that? Not our fault. Step down. If the fire's not there, step down and let someone else do the job.
But there it is. There must be a reason why he's staying there, because it reminds you of kind of how Ferguson was in his latter years at United, in the sense that he had the full backing of the Glazers, so he could do whatever he wanted. He could say whatever he wanted. He was slating for some fans. Yeah. Some fans were saying to him, "Oh, you know, why are you backing the Glazers?" He goes, "We'll go support Chelsea." Then that kind of siege mentality from him. Yeah, you know, and I think it's come to a point where the board have said to Wenger, "Look, you've built this club as, you know, in this way. You know, we've got a new stadium because of you, the revenue and whatnot. Do whatever you want, kind of thing. You're bulletproof." And what does that say? What does that say? I really, really don't know.
Do you know what my issue with Wenger is? Tactically, he's clueless.
No, I agree.
Absolutely clueless.
I agree.
For a manager who's been in the game for so many years and what he's won and what he's achieved, he goes to every
game. Gone with the times.
Definitely involved. Yeah,
it just does not know how to. Like you said earlier, you touched on it. Liverpool play with a 3 midfield, and they're decent 3. He goes with a 2. Why don't you go match him? Why are you playing Ozil as a luxury player at Anfield? Why don't you go 5 and you hit Liverpool on the counter? Why don't you do that?
Look at the 2 that he picked. Where's the
Xhaka and Ramsey? You know, play O'Leary. Play somebody with a bit of skill that's going to win the ball back for you. Someone with a bit of heart. Do you know, I'm talking frustrated. I'm not even an Arsenal fan. Watching that on Sunday, for me, if I was an Arsenal fan, I think I'd smash my telly.
Do you know what?
To be honest, that was diabolical.
I think the only way that Wenger can salvage anything now is to drop the players that he knows aren't pulling their weight and pick some kids.
Yeah.
Pick some kids. He might get a bit of respect in that sense. I mean, you got that what's his name? Nelson, the right back. Nelson. Well, perfect. Chamberlain's going. Play him.
Yeah.
If you're good enough, you're old enough, right?
What? Well, we have a wing back. We have a right back. Play Bellerin there.
Well, if he's going to persist with playing Bellerin at left wing back.
On the left, you know, where he plays on the left. Play 3 centre backs.
Or just go to a 4-2-3-1 and I don't know.
Dave, do you actually think the 3 at the back works?
No. Well, the thing is,
I agree. I don't think it does.
It worked for a bit, but then in my head, I'm just like, you're copying tactics. Like you don't have your own. It's like you don't have your own tactics. I just think, yeah. Now he's selling off Mustafi on loan. We paid 35 million for him last year. He's going on loan for 5 mil. What is going on? So Gabriel for $1 million less than we paid for him. Yeah. Not enough centre back. Now we're going after Johnny Evans. I'm about to smash it off you. Like, I don't get who's his scouts. Does he scout him? Is he just on Football Manager? I don't understand.
And he's looking to get rid of Chambers as well. So I think it's getting rid of every centre back he's got there, isn't it? And
He's got everyone. And then I haven't seen Chambers. Where's he?
Yeah. Well, look, we've heard, as you mentioned, Mustafi. You know, some players like him in particular, they want to leave because promises were made, i.e., transfers, and these promises have been broken. Rod, surely this isn't enough of a reason to just down tools, man. I mean, let's be honest, they're actually robbing fans, aren't they?
Say again, mate.
They're robbing their fans now, aren't they, the players?
Definitely, most definitely. You know, it's no secret. You go there to Liverpool at Anfield, the first 25 minutes, 30 minutes, you're under the cosh. So you need to be defensively sound and at least work hard, work for your team. It's one goal, Chamberlain and Ramsey, I see, were looking at the bench and they've lost the ball and they broke away and scored. It's just something's not right at the club. It's just that, and it starts from the top. He has to change his ways, or he's gonna ruin his legacy. It's embarrassing now. It's like Jan was touched on there. He looks tactically inept. Go to Anfield to play them type of players. I know he trusts his players and all that crap, but they're letting him down week after week, year after year. So he needs to change it. Or it's the buck stops at him. So
I don't think he trusts.
You know, he's going to ruin his legacy. That's for sure. People, you know, it's to be half and half. Now it just seems to be changing.
Yeah. Rod, you know what? Let me ask you something, mate. Because we always hear it on the radio. You know, these ex-pros go on, you know, and they say, "Oh, you know, players never down tools. You know, they always give 100%." I'm sorry, but there is something fundamentally wrong with these players at the moment. I personally think that a lot of them are throwing in the towel.
Yeah, but why? Why? I don't understand why they're throwing in the towel. Why
do I think, or why are they doing it?
I don't understand why would they do that. These supposedly top players, but they're just not average. What you should do is put 100% in and work. And for all them travelling fans that have come all that way and to see their team just jogging about and just like they don't give a shit. It's just, like I say, if I was a diehard fan, Arsenal fan, I'd be taking a big bag of eggs and I'd be kicking every single car that went in that training ground with a car would get.
I agree.
Don't give me.
Obviously, I'm not that type of person, but if I was, there's a lot of Arsenal fans, loyal fans. So,
yeah.
Sorry, go on.
No, I agree, mate. Totally agree. But look, if the players have indeed down tools to get the manager sacked, it's a bit counterproductive, isn't it? Because A, Wenger won't ever be sacked, and B, Wenger won't walk until he's ready. Now, put yourself in Wenger's shoes. What would you do right now? You're Arsene Wenger. What would you do?
Hide somewhere, probably. It's a difficult one. He's just signed a 2-year deal where he probably knew that none of the Arsenal fans wanted him to do that. So for him to do that, the board trust Wenger for him to stay. I'd resign if I was Wenger, to be honest. I'd say after everything that's going on with the club at the moment, and I don't feel, I'd probably be the bigger person and say I'm not the man to take Arsenal forward. Through the fans' unrest and everything that's going on with the club, etc., I feel that the club now needs a new direction, and I'm going to go upstairs. Arsenal fans will accept that.
Really? Should I tell what artists? Because I've had this discussion with Arsenal fans in the past. I said, right, if Wenger retires, right, what then? And a lot of them say, well, he's going to move upstairs. I'm like, well, why? The reason I'm asking why is because when Ferguson moved upstairs at United, it actually caused more problems.
Yeah,
Because he's constantly there. He's constantly in the background.
It depends who Arsenal get as a manager. If they get someone like Simeone, for instance, I'll throw him. He's not going to want Wenger to tell him what to do. But if you get somebody, I don't know, an ex-Arsenal player, I don't know, Tony Adams, for instance, or whatever else, I'm just
That's
throwing.
The worst example.
I know. I'm throwing a name.
Arsenal Wenger. So,
I'm throwing a name. I'm not saying Wenger might be somebody ideal to help Adams in the job role. That's what I'm trying to say.
okay.
I probably agree with you. I think he'll probably stay at Arsenal in some capacity. But again, you don't know the downfall of that if he does stay. Will the new manager, accept that Wenger being upstairs? Will he not? You don't know. But I think for Arsenal's sanity, he needs to go. He needs to go. And Arsenal can, and then also won't have any excuses if they carry on like that. They wanted the manager gone. They've got him gone. If the results improve, they can say, well, there you go. If they don't, maybe it wasn't Wenger's fault after all. You don't know. You don't know.
What worse can happen? Relegation. That's it. You finished 5th.
Well,
the worst he can do is finish outside of the top 4.
Well, he did that last season, didn't he?
Exactly. So it's not. If a new manager comes in, there's no worse he can do, really. If we finish 6th, okay, that's lower than 5th. It's still out of the top 4.
Yeah, but Dave, what I'm saying is, if the new manager comes in and the results don't improve, what would you say then? You know, the whole point of changing Wenger is to improve the club and the results.
But we know the players aren't good enough anyway. So even if another manager does come in, he's going to have to be a miracle worker or have a magic wand, because a lot of these players, they're not good enough.
But a new manager.
If you had a manager say like, do you performance like an Arsenal team from that yesterday, you wouldn't, because he'd be in the faces and he'd be literally fighting with them, saying that's not good enough. Now I'm not saying he's not a person as an angle, but he's got a angle because they're not. What's he gonna do? Doubt us. And some players just obviously just have switched off with his methods, and they need someone bringing in to just clear the lads out that don't want to be there again.
I think they need a new motivation stuff. This is what I'm trying to say. A new manager can come in and say to him, Sanchez, you're better than what you are. Put it out there. Ramsey, you know, maybe the Arsenal players, I've heard so much of Wenger over the years that they're thinking, we're not going anywhere with this guy. So naturally, they're not motivated. A new manager come in, all of a sudden people maybe are fighting for their places. Maybe there's a little bit more of that where Arsenal are too nice as a football club. Oh, yeah, we didn't play well. Oh, well, yes. All right, lads, come and sit. No, where's your Roy Keanes? Where's your Vieiras? Where's your Petits? Your Sol Campbells? Somebody to grab somebody from the neck and go, you're not pulling your weight. You don't see that at Arsenal. You don't, and it comes from the manager as well. When have you ever seen Wenger stand up and give a rollicking to a player? You know, he's too busy doing his zip up on his coat and whatever else. I don't see it. Arsenal fans could agree or disagree with me. I mean, it comes from the touchline.
I think the other thing is that you mentioned Arsene Wenger. What about Steve Bold? Because I've never seen Steve Bold get out of his seat. Never.
Yeah, it was the same with Ryan and Louis.
Because Arsene Wenger could get up and be like, don't shout at them, because that's not how I manage. So
yeah,
he's got to have to sit there.
Thing is, Dave, we had the same with Louis Van Gaal and Ryan Giggs, didn't we? Van Gaal sat there like this, and so did Ryan. You know, there was nothing came from the touchline. A lot of United fans were thinking, are they going to move? Are they going to? And we saw the team not playing well. And it looked like they were motivated from the touchline.
Yeah.
Look at Conte, Mourinho, you know, Guardiola. They get the best out of their players on the touchline as well. If they see something's wrong, look at Mourinho. There'll be a throw-in. He'll get up and he'll be like, do you understand what I mean? They're managing the game from the outside as well. I just don't see that at Arsenal. I really don't.
Oh. Well, let's move on. And according to Jonathan Cross, Arsenal want Raheem Sterling as part of a deal to take Sanchez to Man City. Now, Sterling was City's here on Saturday, bagging an injury time winner against Bournemouth, although his celebration earned him a second yellow card. Rod, I've always wondered why celebrating with your own fans is a bookable offence. I mean, look, I'm not Sterling's biggest fan, but even I can see that. That's an absolutely ridiculous decision. Unfortunately, rules are rules. But what's your take on it? I think Rod's disappeared. Oh, he's frozen.
Is he there?
He's disappeared. I don't know. What do you reckon? Silly or not?
it's adrenaline, isn't it? You just scored a 95th minute goal, you're going wild, etc. I see the safety aspect of it. We've seen it before where you jump into the crowd, everybody gets together, anything can happen. You know, you can hit somebody, you can injure someone. So I guess maybe I see why they don't want the players going into the fans. It's a stupid rule though, because
It's like,
if one player's going to get booked, you might as well book the whole team because everyone's gone in there, don't they? So why do you book Sterling and not book the other 7-8 players that have gone to celebrate as well? It's a silly rule, but I guess it's probably a safety aspect.
Yeah. Rod, we lost you there for a second.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, go on.
What do you make of that second yellow for Raheem Sterling?
It looked to be fair, it looked like he didn't even go to the fans. The fans were half on the pitch or just off the pitch, but it's the seventh or eighth minute in injury time. You've just scored the winner to get 3 points.
That's right.
You know, Mike Dean, have a day off. Just seriously, have a day off. Just seriously. But he's the one of the worst ones. He knows he's doing letter of the law and all that crap. But yet he still sends him off because he knows he's in the right, but he's in the wrong, and he's going to get controversy. His name's going to be in the paper. The guy's a dickhead, and he's, you know, it's by the law, but you know, it leaves a bad taste in your mouth. What are we going to football for if you can't celebrate with the fans? It's an absolute joke. But you know, it's the powers that be who do these laws. I don't know who they are. They must be a load of, I don't know. It's just people who don't get out much.
Fair enough. I thought when you mentioned the City fans running on the pitch, I thought you were about to say there's about 10,000 blue seats being thrown on the pitch. But yeah,
I don't think they have that many away fans.
Well, apparently they took $250,000 to Blackburn when they got promoted all those years ago. So I don't know.
Yeah. They all sat on the grass bank outside.
Right, let's not go into City bashing because we've got some City fans, believe it or not. David, City.
We'll be here all day if he was doing that.
Exactly. Was on one tonight.
That's it. David, I forgot what I was asking. Yeah, City grabbed that result for the second week in a row, and while they carved out a lot of chances, are you surprised they won ugly?
I feel like you need to win ugly to win the league. There's some games that you're not going to be able to like pass the other teams off the park. Sometimes you got to get in their faces. It's probably the reason why Arsenal will never win the league because they don't win ugly. Like they want to play the pretty football. They want to walk the ball into the back of the net, and that's probably why they don't win the league. And it's with Pep. Like I feel like he's got the football side, but he needs to get that ugly into his team as well. So yeah, in this league you got to win ugly. It's the only way you're gonna get points on the board.
That's right. And United got a good win against Leicester, didn't they? Seemed pretty straightforward, right?
It was in the end. It was a game probably last season that United would have drawn.
Oh, they won 4-0.
Yeah, 4-1.
4-1, sorry.
But I'm talking about the type of game against teams with 11 men behind the ball, struggle to break them down. Good thing United created chances, and it looked like the goal was coming. Maybe last season it looked like it's going to be one of them days. On Saturday, it looked like the goal was going to come, and almost the first one went in, the second came after, and then it was a straightforward. And 3 out of 3, United started really well, and no goals conceded. So there's a stronger test to come, but you can't ask more from the players so far.
Well, I was saying with Rodri and Paul Parker the other day on our United show that even when Lukaku missed the penalty or it was saved, no one's head dropped. They just like patted him on the back and said, right, come on, let's carry on. And normally, as you said last season, heads would have dropped, players would have been, this ain't going to be our day, feeling sorry for themselves. But there's an edge this season. There's a competitive edge, and there's a self-belief there which I haven't seen since
4 or 5 years ago.
No, since 2008. 2008.
Yeah.
That kind of like willingness, that drive, that determination, everything there, the fire. We've got players that going forward, it scares teams because of the pace, because of the finishing. And again, it's exciting. It's something that we need to see. Apparently, United were going backwards, but I don't know. Anyway, Rod, Newcastle, they made the most of West Ham's shambolic defending. Had it not been for Joe Hart, it would have been a cricket score.
Yeah, it would have. I don't know what's going on there at the minute. West Ham, we were talked that they've done arguably the best in the transfer market with the players they brought in, and so he's under a lot of pressure, Slaven Bilic, because he's got a good players there, and they spend a lot of money. I know it's a difficult start for them because they've got play games because they're not playing in the because of the athletics, but you still got to deal with it. And without Joat, it would have been an absolute cricket score, like you said. But he needs to change it quick, or he'll be down the road. That's for sure, because they've spent a lot of money, and it's business. So if you're not winning, you're going to be down the road pretty quickly.
Yeah, I mean, I feel sorry for Bilic because his best defender pulled up with an injury before the Southampton game, which they lost. He's going to be out for I don't know how long. Winston Reid. Yeah. Mark Noble hasn't been great this start of this season. To be fair, he's been very reckless with his challenging. And then there's Andy Carroll, who's always injured. So it's either injuries or suspensions. I can't remember the last time West Ham actually had a fit squad of players to choose from.
You're right.
I don't know whether that.
But this is why you have the squad still. You have to be able to deal with. Everyone has injuries. You just have to deal with it. They've got Chicharito up top. They've got obviously Joe out the back. They've got Winston Reid, who's arguably one of the better centre halves in the league. Mark Noble, he keeps on picking him. Just looks like he's got no legs. The lad, even though he wears his heart on his sleeve, he just doesn't look like he can get around the pitch. It's a young man's game now, and especially these packed midfielders, if the game's running by him, and he keeps on picking him, then his name's on the chopping board.
Yeah, it's like Arnautovic, isn't it? Just bought him, and then he goes and does that, and he's banned for 3 games.
Yeah, bonkers.
Yeah, exactly. So he's let his manager down because he could be a game winner, but when he's doing stuff like that, he's just, and he's when he speaks, he sounds like he knows what he's doing, Bilic. So I hope he gets it sorted, but. Then again, I hope he doesn't, because I remember 1995.
Yeah.
So that's a
I hope they get relegated.
There you go. Ludek Mikloshka playing the game of his life. Right, mate, Chris Wood, he scored the equaliser for Burnley on his debut against Spurs. A good start to the season for Sean Dyche's men, hasn't it? Wood could actually be one of the signings of the season, I think, anyway.
Well, he did well in the Championship for Leeds. If it does half as well for Burnley and what he did at Leeds, he'll keep them up. I mean, dream debut, isn't it? Go away I was going to say what I named it for a minute. I go away to Wembley, last minute. Brilliant finish as well, to be fair to the lad, isn't it? Yeah, composed finish. And he's good in the air, and he's good on the floor as well. For someone that's tall, he's not a bad football player, Chris Wood. So it's still early doors, but you can't get a better start than that. And 4 points away from home to Chelsea and Tottenham for Burnley. Brilliant start for them away from home.
What did you make of Tottenham's defending for the goal? Because when you look at the first passage of play, where I think was it Vokes who was on the halfway line? There was 5 defenders standing behind him.
I mean, it's one straight ball to get beat like that, and one bounce and back of the net. It's appalling defending, especially like last minute of the game. So.
By the ball though, Robbie Brady's pass.
Fantastic. He's got that in his locker, Robbie Brady. He's always had it. Left Kane has got it. It's brilliant. But good point for Burnley. Another disaster result for Tottenham at home. But
they can play there. They can play there.
Still early doors. Tottenham.
Absolutely. There you go. Dave's smiling for once.
Gets down the road.
Right, so in other news, no surprises in Ligue 1 and the German Bundesliga, as the usual suspects all won, surprise. And then Mbappe-less Monaco thumped Marseille 6-1, 2 days after Cavani scored twice to help PSG say 3-0 win over Saint Etienne. Now, Bayern Munich and Dortmund both won 2-0 and sit joint top of the league. David, Monaco, they've moved up. Well, they've moved to sign Stefan Jovetic, and they leaked photos of him posing with a Jovetic 10 shirt, which effectively means Mbappe is going to Paris Saint-Germain. What do you think he will do in Ligue 1?
You know what? Before he went to Man City, I actually wanted him at Arsenal. I thought because his record at Fiorentina was he scored a lot. He just scored goals for fun. But he obviously went to Man City and didn't do too well. I thought he'd be an upgrade on Sonogo, to be fair, but yeah, it hasn't been that great for him. I think he went to Seville on loan.
That's right.
Yep.
Did well last season.
He did well last season, at Seville.
I think he didn't score. I don't even think he got double figures in goals.
Was in and out of the team, but he did all right.
Like the French league, I mean, the only two clubs that are in the French league is Monaco and PSG, and you play for one of the better teams. So he should be able to get double figures in the French league, I feel, with Monaco. Well, that's hoping they still have Mbappe and Falcao, but I heard he's off the PSG as well. But yeah, I think he'll do all right. I think he will at least get double figures in the League One. So yeah, I think he'll do all right. I think he'll get a few goals.
Fantastic. Did you hear the story about Jovetic and Marseille? Well, Jovetic was flying to Monaco to have his medical. He got a phone call from the Marseille president. No. He was like, well, we're going to sign Stefan Jovetic. You should come to play for us. And he was like, I am Stefan Jovetic.
I'll tell you who else Monaco signing, just to add, Kita from Lazio.
Yeah? Okay.
They're getting him a bit of information there, but they're getting him as well.
Excellent. Rod, Mbappe is joining PSG on loan with a view to a £166 million move next summer. Is there a point in having FFP?
Not really. These big billionaire owners now. What happens if they do go over? They get fined or they can't buy players in for a year. There's always ways around it. So things that the big teams that get away with, they can do because they've got the money, and if they've got to pay a fine or they get banned from buying anyone or selling anyone for a year, they just deal with it. So it's not fair to the smaller clubs, but that's life at the minute. But it's just a daft law. You should be able to pay what you want, but there it is. Somebody set these laws. It's probably the same laws that set. Same people who set the laws for getting booked when you jump into the crowd. You score a goal.
Probably right, mate. You're probably right, actually. Probably right. Well, mate, Dembele's transfer to Barcelona hasn't affected Dortmund. They brought in Yarmolenko from Dinamo Kiev. Although he's a totally different player to Dembele, so I'm not sure how he'll fit in with that system.
He'll play on the right side of the three up front.
Even though his right foot is his weaker foot.
Cut inside.
Like a Robin.
Like a Robin, yeah. That's what he plays for Kiev as well, to be fair. Less pace. He's a technical player. Yarmolenko. I actually quite like him as a football player. He's a technical player. I don't think he'll suit the English game. It might be a little bit too slow, but I think he's got good left foot in him.
Don't you think it's like 3 years too late though? Because apparently they were in for him back then, and they opted not to.
Time will tell. He might do well.
20 is a good age, though.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know. I like him as a player. I think he might do well. Dortmund's style has always been good. He's a technical player. We'll see. He's not a Dembele though. Dembele is an exciting player. I think he'll do well at Barcelona. Dembele, but
we can't do kick-ups. So before we go, I've got a quiz to do with you guys. I don't know if you guys are up for doing a quick quiz.
I was up for a quiz.
You sit over there because I've got the answers here and I don't want you to see them.
And can we clarify this now? If it's not for you, Jan, keep your mouth shut.
Okay, I'll tell you what. I won't join in. It'll be between them two. How about that? Yeah, I'm out.
Okay, all right, fine. Okay, that makes it my
should have buzzers, really.
Yeah, what's it about?
I'll tell you that in just a moment. But before we start the quiz, I've got a quick story to tell you about Romania's head coach Christoph Daum. You heard about this story?
No.
Right, so Christoph Daum, German fella, he's Romania's head coach, and he's not best friends with the country's press. They've been at odds with each other for a while. So when Daum recently said that the biggest sports papers in Romania are only good for wrapping fish, he was presented with a fishing rod during Monday's press conference. I think his response was something like, "Is this a comedy club or is this a press conference?" But he stayed professional, thank goodness. But yeah, that's a cracking,
fascinating,
right? Anyway, so David, this game, right? It's based on corresponding results of fixtures. So this weekend we saw Liverpool, Arsenal, we saw Chelsea, Everton, United, Leicester, Newcastle, West Ham, and I've picked season 2000 and 2001. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to give you both the results. And I need you to guess the goal scorers. It's that simple.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is for season 2000, 2001. I don't know how old you were then, David.
Yeah, I was about... yeah.
So you're quite young. Okay. So but you might be young enough to remember this. Okay, so I'm gonna ask you this question, David. Okay. 2000, 2001, Liverpool 4, Arsenal 0. Believe it or not. Who scored for Liverpool?
Oh wow, Gerard.
Okay.
Was Fowler about? Fowler about? Gerard, Risa. Is Risa one of them?
No.
Is Gerard one of them?
Gerard's one of them.
Okay. 2000. Owen?
Yeah.
Heskey?
No. I'll give you two more guesses. I think you mentioned one earlier.
I did?
Yeah.
What did I mention?
Begins with an F.
Oh, shut up.
He mentioned it already. Give him that one.
Oh, F.
No.
Oh, my mind's gone.
White lines.
Allegedly. Allegedly.
I wish I never opened my mouth now.
Allegedly. Who you go with, David? Go on, two more guesses, mate. You got two of them.
Wow, who's F? On goal?
No.
No. He's a Liverpool legend. Apparently, they call him God.
Begins with an F.
Yes.
Played for City.
You
as
mentioned
well.
him earlier. You actually mentioned him as one of your guesses. You and was it him?
His family are in the EastEnders.
Brother Gus. I don't know.
Robbie.
Robbie Keane. Robbie Fowler.
Robbie Fowler. There you go.
Okay,
Right,
okay, yeah. Robbie Fowler.
One more. Come on.
Give me. Is he midfield, defender, or striker?
He was a forward. He played for Spurs. He played for Middlesbrough. He played for Everton. He played for.
His son played for United.
His son played for United. Left back, wasn't he?
Yep.
Left back.
Played for England. It was a short fella.
But he's a forward. He was a forward.
Left back. Played for Man United.
No, he's a forward. He's a forward. His son was a left back. You confused. You confused him.
Forward.
I gave him F with Fowler.
Come on.
Go on.
You want to pass on that one?
I'm going.
It was Nick Barmby. It was Nick Barmby.
I was never fucking get that.
Right, so you got three, right? You got three. So come on, Rod.
Oh, that's a good game. I actually like this game. Let's go.
Right, Rodri. Chelsea 2, Everton 1.
Chelsea. What year?
2001.
Chelsea and who?
Everton.
Oh, it's like from weekend.
Yeah.
2001.
Yep.
Ooh.
Well, the person who I'll tell you what, I'll give you a hint. The person who got two.
Duncan Ferguson. Has he got one of them?
No, but he both of the goal scorers were strikers. In fact, the goal scorer for Chelsea scored twice.
And what score was it?
2-1.
Oh, I think I know who it is.
Say that. What was the clue?
The guy that scored for Chelsea, the guy that scored Chelsea goal. In fact, the goal scorer for Chelsea scored both of them. They didn't have two separate goal scorers. It was just one goal scorer.
You just got
They're both strikers, Rodri.
And they're both strikers.
Yeah.
Good Johnson.
No.
No. His strike partner.
I know who it is.
Ex Leeds.
He's a
Middlesbrough.
Hasselbank.
There you go. Hasselbank got two. And who got Everton's goal? I'll give you a hint. He played for Arsenal.
Oh.
Arteta.
Nah.
No. I'll give you two more guesses.
Arsenal shittest English striker ever.
Oh, what's his name? The little rat. What's his name?
No, it's not who you're thinking.
No, it's not bad.
No,
it's not him.
It's not the fox in the box.
You're talking about Jeffers.
Yeah,
Not Jeffers.
Which other former Arsenal player played for Everton?
And was a striker.
He shares the same surname as a former Tottenham defender who then went to Arsenal.
Oh, Kevin Campbell.
There you go. Right, so it's 3 apiece. 3 apiece. Right. David, Man United 2, Leicester City 0. Who scored for United?
Jesus. Dwight York.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
He ain't gonna get this.
Oh.
No. The other one, I'll give him a hint. He used to play for Arsenal.
Did he? Oh, so is it Sylvester?
There you go. Well done. Well done.
Oh shit!
Right,
That's
okay.
the worst signing you ever gave us.
He scored against Tottenham. You should love him.
He's terrible.
And he's done
Well,
something that no Arsenal player's done. He's got a European Cup.
Yeah.
Go on. Go on.
Oh,
Well, what was it?
was it 2-0? Was it 2-0?
Yeah.
2-0, yeah.
Oh, okay. So what's the next game?
Right, Rodri's got one.
Well, what was it?
Yeah. It's Newcastle 2, West Ham 1. This is a tough one.
The first one. Where the hell is he gone?
Oh. Les Ferdinand?
Nope. This is a tricky one, actually.
Ex-Wimbledon striker.
Oh, fuck me. Vinny Jones.
For who but now plays for Newcastle.
Sorry?
What Newcastle was an ex.
Yeah, one of the goal scorers for Newcastle used to play for Wimbledon.
His career was salvaged by injuries, like bad injuries.
Didn't Bobby Robson think he was someone else?
Jason Ewell, I think.
No. It's a running joke about Bobby Robson thinking that this guy was someone else.
I don't think they'll get this one.
What?
2001.
Okay, I'll give you a hint for the other goal scorer for Newcastle, Rod. He was a free kick specialist, and he was quite short, and he played an instrument. Was it a saxophone he played?
Saxophone. And he played for Villa as well.
Does it begin with an R?
Nope.
No.
Oh, what?
It's not Laurent Robert, no.
Fuck.
He's South American.
It's Peruvian.
Oh, I know he is. Begins with S.
Go ahead.
He had the Cypriot passport as well.
Yeah,
I don't know how he managed to wrangle one of those. Even I can't get one. And my mum's from out there.
He's lost.
I really want to help Rodri. I really want to help him.
Lost. Give up, mate.
I haven't got. Mine's just gone blank. I'm trying to think of West Ham and I'm trying to think of someone else.
All right, okay. I'll give you a hint for the West Ham goal scorer. He then went to play for Chelsea and became a legend.
Lampard.
There you go. Right. So the Newcastle goal scorers. This one's difficult. I mean, the one.
It's not difficult. I know it.
Okay.
Say again.
The Newcastle goal scorers. One of them played for Wimbledon and he was a striker.
Yeah.
And the other one is a Peruvian midfielder who played the saxophone, had a Cypriot passport, and there's
Peruvian. What's his name now?
If you go to the pub, you can buy Nobby's nuts.
Yeah. Nobby. What's his name?
That's what I'm asking you.
That was his nickname. That was his nickname, wasn't it? Nobby for him. What was his name then? Solano, Nobby Solano.
There you go. Right. Let's see if you can get the striker. Used to play for Wimbledon. Yeah, he's so Wimbledon back in the day. You had Dean. This was after Dean Holdsworth, wasn't it? It was after that
Marcus
era.
Gale, Jason Ewell. Was it
that era?
Yeah.
So it was after Fashion. It was after the Crazy Gang
that's
thing.
Right. It was after. It was Marcus Gale, Jason Ewell.
And this guy
He
joined for a big fee, didn't he?
10 minutes? I'm stupid. 7 minutes?
Who went for a big fee? The player?
Sorry?
The player went for a big fee.
Yeah, he left Wimbledon to join Newcastle for a big fee.
Is he English?
Yeah, I think so. He didn't represent England, I don't think.
No, he didn't.
Although I think he may have... He may have Central American or South American or Caribbean.
And how long was he at Newcastle for?
He was. Let me double check because he's actually playing. He's actually still playing. He's at Tampa Bay Rowdies. Wow. Okay, I didn't know this. He was at Newcastle.
Must have been 3 years. I'm gonna guess.
3 years. 4 years.
4 years.
He played for Marbella. This is the back end of his career. Norwich City, Brentford, Tampa Bay Rowdies. He represented England at under 21 level. Wimbledon.
Should we give him a hint?
I don't know how you're going to. What kind of hint would you?
No.
Get?
Oh, get it? No.
Yeah, Bobby Robson paid £7 million for him.
7, yeah. There you go.
No.
I'm gonna try and see who Bobby Robson used to get mixed up with.
If you get on the wrong side of the law, you go somewhere.
Jail.
Before jail.
Before jail. I couldn't think of a better example.
Court.
There you go.
Right, cool.
Name's Court.
Yeah.
What's his first name?
Oh yeah, what was his name? The tall black fella. What was his name? Him?
That's it.
That's the one.
It.
You got him.
Courtney Cut.
Oh, I got it. Yeah, I got it.
Okay. Well,
Is it
first
something
name.
Court?
Yeah.
Jenkinson's first name at Arsenal.
Yeah. Or the goalkeeper Muggleton that played for Swindon back in the day. Or
Lafferty.
the athlete whose surname is Lewis.
Oh, this is going to do my head in this.
I think Dave's got it, look.
I got it, mate. You said Jenkinson. I was like, I know who it is.
What was his name?
Should I do the countdown music?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Go on.
Carl Courts.
Carl Court. I knew it was Carl Court. Yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
memorable
yeah.
player he was.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, do you remember Howard Wilkinson? He had a story about Bobby Robson. He said, at one England under-21 gathering, I selected Shola Miobi, who was a young striker at Newcastle under him. Bobby had also bought a great expense, Carl Courts, a striker from Wimbledon. Shola had about 6 Christian names, most of them to me unpronounceable. And in an attempt to put him at ease on his debut performance, I called the lad over and asked him what Bobby called him when he was at the club. With absolutely no sense of resentment, rather more than a sense of loving understanding, Shola said, Carl Court mostly. Bobby Robson. What a legend. Well, gents, thank you ever so much for agreeing to come on the show. It's been an absolutely fantastic show. I don't think we're going to get that letter of cease and desist or anything libelous. What do you reckon? I think we're safe, aren't we?
For another week.
For another week. Wonderful. Rod, thank you again. Do you want to give our listeners your Twitter handle?
Yeah, it's Rod James Giggs.
Excellent. David, mate, please, without any further ado.
What is my Twitter? Oh, wait. On Twitter, it's Frimpon Online. Frimpon without the G. Everywhere else, it's Frimpon without the G.
Excellent. And what you got? Have you got a YouTube channel or you?
I mostly use Snapchat. So on Snapchat, I do wild stuff on there. Insta, also YouTube, and that's Frimpon without the G.
Yeah, to talk us through these wild videos, because I've seen them for a while now, and
you know what? It's just me being bored. At times it's me talking about Arsenal games. At times it's me trying to cook. At times it's me doing wild stories about my life, previous life. It's just me being an idiot, really. So if you want to watch a guy be an idiot, yeah, add me up and have a look. I do skip sometimes as well.
But Steve-O, like, you know, he rates you. He says that you've been doing some really good stuff there, so that must mean something to you. Do you know what I mean? You must be doing something right, because he's a legend, isn't he?
Yeah, Steve-O, I love Steve-O. Like he's a really good mate. Like I think with Steve-O is because I saw him when he wasn't this big, and we've stuck together since then. I've been watching that for him. But yeah, Steve-O's cool, man. I love Steve-O. I'm just trying to be humble, I know. You know what I mean? Yeah. I just do wild stuff on Insta, Snapchat, and Twitter. So if you want to have a look at an idiot, just add me up.
Fair enough.
There you go. Sold. What about yours? What about yours? You don't behave like an idiot on Twitter, do you? You just do commentary or United games at 4 a.m. when it's pre-season games.
Yeah. So people, you know, when they wake up, they look at everything. Oh,
Don't
I know the United
just follow
exactly.
you.
Just follow me. So Yannick is J.
Excellent. We are on Twitter ourselves at Shoot the Defense. We have a Facebook group page. We have a Facebook like page. We have other bits and pieces. Just like to give a quick shout out to our followers and sponsors, Sofa Sports News, lovely, fantastic show on iTunes, SoundCloud, and also on FNX Network. As I mentioned, FNX Network, you've got Nick Tanner Promotions, My Sportswear, Lucky 7 Management, Bite Back Publishing. Who else have I forgotten? DCS Sports Legal. Loads of partners, loads of friends. Yeah, we're effing friends. Great stuff, and we'll be back next week. Take care. Finish that on Facebook Live and press stop broadcast.